All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the February 2025 edition of Post ProRes. My name is WH Park. Joining me, as always, every month is the Empress, Karen Peterson, who's in better health this month on camera if you're watching this on YouTube. And why wouldn't you be watching this on the YouTube? But yes, Karen, how are you these days?
I, in the immortal words of Mushu from Mulan, I live. The sinus infection's gone, strep throat's gone. I've got a full face of makeup on, so I am back. Your girl is back and she's alive.
I'm very happy to see
feeling so much better.
The Empress in full health. No strep throat, no whooping cough or a sinus blockage. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. My cold's gone. I had a terrible cold like last month.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like in Florida temperature wise, Karen, but it's fucking freezing over here in Toronto.
Well, our cold snaps are tapering off, and today I could walk outside with a t-shirt on.
Didn't you guys have snow recently?
Up, not in Central Florida where I'm at, and up near North Florida, close to where the Panhandle is, because you know how Florida's kind of shaped like kind of weird. It's the northwest part that kind of goes along like Mississippi and Arkansas and Louisiana.
Oh, I see.
Like
I see.
Where where the capital is, like the Georgia state border. That right. That's where it is. If it got down where we are, Orlando would have shut down because nobody has, and we have snow. Nobody has snow tires here, so
you probably don't even own a shovel, a snow shovel.
I own a shovel, but that's more digging in the backyard kind of shovel. Not. I don't have an ice scraper. When I was in Japan and in New York, I had them. Florida, I have no need for them.
No, I can't even imagine if you guys got hit with any kind of snow. Like in southern Florida, or central Florida,
actual state of emergency.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine. we are very well equipped to handle snow and very cold temperatures here. You probably don't even own a winter coat over there.
Not a proper winter coat. I've got stuff I can get by with, but it still involves a lot of layers.
Yes, it's freezing. We've been hit by the polar vortex in the last several weeks. And when it's windy, oh my god, it's pretty brutal. But I am surviving. So if you see a little bit red, it's not sunburn. This is windburn.
Windburn.
You know? Yeah, and I suppose cold burn, is that a thing? Freezer burn.
You'd have freezer burn. You'd have to be like in a refrigerator unit.
No, that's what being outside is like. It's like not in a refrigerator.
Frostbite, isn't that the proper term for it?
Well, no, I didn't get frostbite. I'd be in big trouble if I got actual frostbite. But no, it's just like kind of a burn. You know, like you come in like wind burn. Like you get it's cold wind. It hits your face. It's not good. Not good for your skin.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, we have some news about the show. We have some housekeeping to take care of.
We do,
as it were.
A lot of housekeeping today.
That's right. A lot of housekeeping. And you and I were informed separately. Like
yes.
I think two differently. I think John Pollock told you, and Wei Ting told me.
John and Wei. I got a message from both of them. I was like, oh God, what have I done?
I only got Wei sending me an email. So you got both? See, you're more important to them than I am. Except, you know what? They may, but here's the thing. You're not going to have brunch with them separately on 2 consecutive days. I am. So there you go. They might be listening to this. And when they do, they'll be like, why don't we just meet on the same day? They might get an email like tomorrow and just like, why don't we just meet?
Not together. 2 separate emails.
No, I'm okay with that, but I'm also okay meeting John by himself and then Wei by himself. It doesn't matter to me. I like both their companies separately or together. It's all good for me. But anyways, our housekeeping, we got informed by the management, the upper management here, Post Wrestling.
Corporate post.
That's right. A little behind the scenes peek behind the curtain, as it were, for you people, that this is our last freeloader episode.
Bon voyage, freeloaders.
That's right. So we are moving as of the March episode, we are going to be moving to the cafe, and that means it is, yes, behind. I don't like to say behind a paywall, but it's premium content. This is the words they used. This is premium content, and we feel like it deserves to be. Like if they want to hear premium content, they have to, pay a premium, right? That's how usually it works, right, Karen?
Yep, you got to pony up for Park and Peterson moving forward.
That's right. It's like I don't want ads when I watch YouTube, so I pay. I pay YouTube to not see fucking ads when I'm watching a video, and I will never go back. I never go back to free YouTube. Never. So if you want to see WH Park, the Empress Karen Peterson, talk shit about professional wrestling in Japan, or praise its glory when there is some glory to praise, you need to pony up. Pay the piper, as it were. Go to patreon.com/postwrestling. For less than a Starbucks coffee, you can get the lowest tier, which gets you access to Post Perez, gets you access to MCU later, which Karen also comes on frequently. She's going to be on our Daredevil reviews in the future.
I'm waiting for the phone call, Park.
Listen, Rich Fan is laid up. Okay, like we're gonna do before we get to Daredevil, we got to do Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We got a review coming up, I think, next week. So keep an eye out for that. As of this recording, next week, me and Rich will be back with MCU later. But MCU later, premium content. Post Perez is premium content. And also, as of this month, we are moving Dream Center Monthly from written form on the site to audio form, officially making it a part of Post Perez. And you may be either starting at the show or the end of the show, depends on how we're feeling that particular day. Here's the production meeting for all you folks. And this is the last production meeting you'll see for free, is that, depending on my mood, Karen's mood, it will be like, oh, let's put it at the beginning of the show. Oh, let's put it at the end of the show. So today, Dream Slam Monthly will be at the beginning of the show after we get done with housekeeping. But yes, for the foreseeable future, we are moving Post Press to the Patreon, to the Post Wrestling Cafe. And honestly, it's seriously, if you love great audio, forget just about wrestling. If you love great audio, it is worth it. I personally think like John and Wei, their talk show, just called Talk, where they just talk about anything. It's a random off the cuff conversation that they talk for like about 90 minutes or so roughly. And it's great. I love it. I mean, I'm biased because I know both of those guys.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan of like their content, whether it's on the Raw reviews or Dynamite or whatever, then you will enjoy Talk. You will enjoy MCU later with me and Rich Fan and a variety of guest hosts. You're going to enjoy Post Perez. And we also, I believe they're also moving the UFC reviews with John and usually Eric Marcotte over there. So like, again, great. If you're an MMA fan, you're gonna enjoy the insights of both John and my good friend Eric Marcotte on that show. So check that out. But also Karen and Bruce Lord do all the New Japan reviews.
Yes.
In the cafe. So, and that's always,
unless Chris surprises me with another, we're doing this live right now kind of thing. We are going to be,
Bruce,
sorry,
just
call me Paywall Peterson moving forward, because
there you go.
both of my projects are.
That's right. And this includes the YouTube version.
I am
the YouTube version.
Cafe.
you can't watch the YouTube version unless you are a member of the Post Wrestling Cafe. But there's a lot of great content. There's different tiers. And yet the lowest tier gets you access to pretty much all the shows. As you go higher, there's more benefits. And go to patreon.com/postwrestling. Check it all out, folks. It's well worth it. It's like, honestly, if you buy a Starbucks coffee, you can afford paying that for one Starbucks coffee, less than one Starbucks coffee. What is it? The biggest one, Venti? Less than the price of a Venti.
Yes.
You'll get great content for every month. And it's all good. So anyways, that's it. Yeah. So I know all you people who work in Japan for wrestling companies, you know who you are. I kind of know who most of you are. if you want to hear me slander you and get mad at me and try to get me canceled on the social medias, well, now guess what? Now you got to pay for that privilege. No more freeloading for you. No more getting angry at me. And if you want to, if you want to get Karen Peterson canceled too, you got to pay for that.
Wait. Why am I getting canceled?
No, you're not getting canceled. I'm not getting canceled. If they want to try, though, they got to pay for that privilege.
As we
say, you want that dog to get canceled, you got to pay for it.
Yep. All of Zelda's content is now behind the post paywall too, guys.
That's right. So, English commentators, wrestlers, people in that locker room, travel agents, booking the flights. If you don't want me if you want to hear me talking about you, pay up. All right. Anything else, Karen, before we get started with our content?
Nope. Other than we got to figure out when we're doing the March one, which would probably be
that's production meeting. We're not giving production meetings away for free anymore. So
nope. So you guys will find out when we decide to have the next one.
That's right. But usually the first week of the month, so
usually it's the first Friday of the month. So if the first Friday is like around the 6th or 7th of the month, that's when it's going to be. But we try to have it on the first Friday of the month.
So we're going to start with our Joshi news segment, Dream Slam highlights and previews, Dream Slam monthly, basically. Before we get there, I do have to say one thing. I was very sad a couple of weeks ago. Karen, they announced WWE pulled my man, Omos, from Pro Wrestling Knowledge, gave up the GHC, his half of the GHC tag titles to Daga, of all fucking people.
Yeah.
Jack Morris and Daga. No, I mean, Jack Morris was bad enough, but no Omos. I have become less interested in the GHC tag team situation since that happened. Singles, okay. But without Omos, with those titles, with his half of the titles, no bueno.
We had a good run with Omos in Noah.
You know what they had him do during WrestleMania weekend? Nothing. He didn't even show up in the fucking Rumble.
Yeah.
I was waiting for my main man, Omos, to show up in the goddamn Rumble.
That's why he vacated the belt. And I was like, wait, are we not?
That, along with Charlotte Flair winning the women's Rumble, was like the low point of watching it for me.
For me, it was the if Charlotte Flair was going to make her comeback at the Rumble, she was probably going to win it. I popped more seeing Alexa Bliss finally come back after having her baby and all that, like 2 years later, and her Fiend/Friends Forever jacket. I was like, in my feelings. But
yes, it was great to see Alexa Bliss come back. I did watch the Royal Rumble at the Poison Rana watch along party. We had about 100 people.
Awesome.
At a place called Gabby's on King Street in Toronto. It was great. I went with a bunch of coworkers, a lot of people. I talked to Davey and Braden a lot. They put on. Listen, if you have a chance to come down to a Braden Davey hosted event, please come. It's well worth it. I think admission was like $10 Canadian. It's nothing, and you get access
$7 US
to trivia. They had 2 Rumble pools going and a lot of great prizes. Those guys have always created an awesome atmosphere for people who come to their watch alongs. The last one before this was like the Forbidden Door one. No, it's not the Forbidden Door. The Wembley show one, All In. Yeah. I watched All In at a different bar, but that they hosted was awesome. And Brandon Davey putting on awesome events here in Toronto for wrestling fans, and check it out. I don't know what the next one is. I don't know. I think they might be trying to go to Mania. I don't know. Probably not. I think most people I know aren't going to be traveling to the United States anytime soon.
If you are flying into these United States, please be safe.
Yeah.
As somebody who used to work in aviation and whose father was an airline mechanic for 37 years, please be safe.
May want to just drive in.
Be kind to your flight attendants. They're really stressed out.
Anyways, yes. So Omos. So we got that out of the way, but let's talk about the Joshi scene. A lot of great stuff in Joshi. I watched several shows, and awesome matches. I watched 2 awesome matches. As far as like that, I really enjoyed these past several weeks. One would be the Sarai. Sorry, am I saying it right? Sarai versus Mako
Sarai.
I like Sarai.
Yeah, because there's like 3 E's on it. But
she fought Mako Satomura.
Yes,
amazing. Go out of your way to watch that. You know, my good friend Joey Bay, he put on like social medias. He was like, you know, for him these days, he's a new father. He says the gold standard of what he watches is usually something involving Sarai, whether it is in Marigold beforehand, but also her own produce shows, Sariism. And they're fun shows. I don't watch every match. I don't have to. That's the good thing about that. And usually with like Sendai Girls as well, it's like I don't feel like I have to watch every match, but with the matches I do watch, I feel I've been rewarded. So, and they're very easy watches, I feel.
Yeah, but they're like less than 2 hours, maybe 5 matches, maybe 6 at the most. But
yeah. Her and Mako, awesome display of professional wrestling. I don't know why she's retiring. She can go for another 5-10 years, I feel.
I'm so curious to know what Satomura's plan is starting May 1st once she has officially retired. I don't know what she's doing, but like I want to sit down and just pick her brain. Because like, what are you going to do now? Like, is she going to stay up in Sendai? Because I believe she's not originally from there. She's from further down, like in like central Japan.
Yeah, I mean, I think she probably has her like home there and maybe a rice field as well.
I mean, there are a lot of rice fields in Sendai.
You know, so yeah, we'll find out. It's something we'll try to keep on top of in terms of like keeping track of what Mako Satomura is doing post retirement. I imagine she's still going to be the promoter of Sendai Girls.
I hope so,
and help run it and help train. I think she's one of these people that wrestling is in her blood. Like she's not giving it up, even though she's not active in the ring. She's going to be behind the scenes, giving help, being kind of like the mentor, like she has been since she started Sendai Girls.
Yeah.
To a lot of the talent that she has helped train and cultivate in that company. But all the other great match that I watched was Tall Saya Kamitani taking on Suzuki for the World of Stardom Championship, and I have to say I liked that match a lot because I felt it was more her showcasing this new persona, but also her athletic skills rather than like being a character, being a gimmick of a heel. And I also Suzu was just stepped up.
I love Suzu.
She's amazing.
Yeah,
she's amazing. So
she's actual prodigy.
She is. But let's talk about this is sorry. I kind of feel like I'm stepping on your toes right now. So this is Karen's I just want to get that out of the way. And Karen, let's talk about what are we going to talk about today on Dream Slam Monthly here on Post Perez.
Well, and in the month, it's so weird to say that, after just about 3 years, the Dream Slam series has been sunset and it's getting folded into the greater umbrella of Post Perez. But we're going to start off with Dreamstar fighting Marigold. I have a bone to pick with Abema, because they are now having these really weird and really long archive periods. So other pay-per-views I've watched with them, they've been like maybe like a week, 10 days at the most. Like even when Muto had his retirement match, it wasn't that long. On this coming weekend, Sunday the 9th, they are finally releasing the archive from First Dream 2025, their show from January 3rd. I hope this is not a thing moving forward for all of their pay-per-views, that they're going to have this sort of delay, because it was the same thing with the Stardom show from the 2nd that you watched with Suzu and Saya. I haven't seen it yet because I haven't been able to access it. I went to Stardom World and I couldn't find it. So it's one of those things where I'm very frustrated that they're not turning those around, and the viewing tickets for these pay-per-views are getting longer and longer. And yeah. But Koki Yamare, we talked about this last month. During that show on the 3rd, she had torn her ACL. She has not yet vacated the GHC Women's Championship, and she's still trying to come back for their first anniversary show in May, but there hasn't been any updates since then. From the time we last recorded, they had their Marigold New Year's Golden Garden on the 19th at Korakuen Hall. I'm just going to run down the highlight, the title matches. The Marigold Superfly Championship. Victoria Yuzuki defeated Yuki Mashiro on her first defense in 8 minutes, and then the Marigold United National Championship, which is their white belt. Mai Sakurai defeated Nagisa Nozaki in 16 minutes and 2 seconds. And then the Marigold Twin Star Championships, which is their tag championships, Nanaya Takahashi and Sari Yamaoka defeated Bozilla and Tank in their to become the third champions in 19 minutes and 32 seconds. By the time this goes live, Marigold will have their New Year's Golden Garden 2025 on the 7th at Shinjuku Face. Really, the only championship match is Yuzuki is having her second defense against Misa Matsui. They've announced the date of their first anniversary show, Marigold Shine Forever 2025, a glorious celebration. It will be May 24th at Yoyogi National Stadium, the auxiliary gym, so not the main gymnasium, but the smaller one. And I believe like late last year, they did announce that they were doing a show on WrestleMania week in Las Vegas, sometime in April. They have not yet released any dates, venue, ticket information, but it's apparently still going to be a thing. So I am hoping that this show, one, is broadcast digitally so I can watch it, but also I hope we get Julia versus Utami, but that's just me being selfish.
I mean, WWE does have try to have a relationship with Wrestle Universe, things under the Wrestle Universe banner, whether it's Pro Wrestling Noah, obviously, or Marigold. I mean, they sent Io to fight Utami, and I can see hey, I don't think Julia's moving any from NXT from before Mania ends. I think Correct. If she's gonna move, it's gonna be sometime after Mania.
She might be there. She might be there for a little while longer, though. I think she might be.
I think so.
SummerSlam or Survivor Series. I feel like Roxanne Perez is the one that's getting that rub to be moving up finally. So, but we'll see. But I am curious to see if there will be any WWE crossover with Marigold. I mean, EU's already done it. Kairi could always be an option if she's healthy again by then. So we'll have to see.
It would be. Sorry, I think it would be. I think it would be very good business. You get WWE is working with TNA. I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah. Right?
So, and they're probably going to send people to their WrestleMania week show. Of course, people on Mania itself. I don't think Julia's she's going to be on TakeOver.
I hope so.
Right. Obviously, she's probably going to defend her title on TakeOver. Yeah. So but if she can also do an appearance, I know she'll have a match on the Marigold show. It'd be exhibition. She'll probably win it if she's still the champion, right? Which she probably will be. Yeah. I think at the very least an appearance, but a match, sure, exhibition match with, somebody, Utami, sure. I think that would be awesome. But here's the only problem with that is that I don't think Utami would win. That's the thing. Is I think Julia
time limit draw, baby. Time limit draw. Or double knockout.
Yeah.
Not double count out, double knockout.
I don't know, but I've never been to Vegas, so I don't know what the infrastructure for going to between shows was. Being in Philadelphia, it wasn't too bad. You could probably Uber it for pretty, affordably between venues or take transit. I usually just I was with Rich Fans, so we had a car or we Ubered it, and it wasn't that expensive. I'm hoping for the sake of the fans that Vegas is easy to navigate and that their promotions are coordinating. Okay, let's try to keep it central to this location.
It depends on how far off the strip everything is. Because I remember when I went to Death Before Dishonor in 2018 when it was a New Japan Ring of Honor show. It was at Sam's Town in Vegas, but it was not immediately off the strip. You had to kind of Uber to that part of Vegas. So I'd be curious to see how it goes. Since you mentioned Sariism, after we last recorded on the 23rd, she had chapter 6, in which the main event was her versus Meiko Satomura. There is a little bit of crossover with both a lot of independent wrestlers or smaller promotions, as well as Marigold talent on the show, because Victoria Yuzuki was defeated Miku Kanae. Honori Hana and Jaguar Yokota defeated Misa Kagura, She's from Just Tap Out, and Yumiko Halta. Marvelous is Takumi Iroha defeated Chi-Chi from Evolution Joshi. Bozilla and Mio Momono is like probably the wildest pairing I could think of. It's very much like Aja Kong and not Aja Kong, Max the Impaler and Palm Harajuku. It's a very unique clash of personalities that seem to mix really well for some reason. Who defeated Kaoru Ito and Yurika Oka from Senjo, and then of course Sadamura defeated Sari in 16 minutes and 35 seconds. For their for Chapter 7, which was announced for March 10th at Shinjuku Face, Jaguar Yokota and Kaoru Ito are going to be in a tag match against Yurika Oka and Kohaku. Dash Chisako and Chi-Chi will tag against Veni and Honori Hana. Miko Ano, I had Miko Ano versus TBD, but I think Natsupoi has also been announced for the show, so Natsupoi might be in that match. I don't know, because that would be Marigold versus Stardom, and I don't know if they're at that stage just yet. And the main event,
I'm gonna say, yeah,
and the main event is Sari versus Shuri. So the year of Sari having these wildly small short cards, but with some outstanding main eventers. I am looking forward to that. And of course, then we move on to the sleeper hit of Dream Slam Monthly, which is the Sendai Girls, because we love ourselves some Sendai Girls. Sadamura's retirement road is continuing. The countdown to April 29th, 2025 is on. This past week, they added a match for her against 2AW, which was formerly out in Chiba. That was Takamichinoku's old Kaintai dojo. She's going against Ayami Sasamura, who's like the only girl on their roster right now, I believe. Then she'll be wrestling Unagi Sayaka on the 16th of February at Korakuen Hall. She'll be heading over to the UK for back-to-back shows. One will be at Progress Wrestling on the 23rd against a singles match against Rio. RHIO, RHIO. I always say that one wrong. And then the following night, she'll be at Ichiban Puroresu's Final Sting, which I've never heard of Ichiban Pro Res in the UK, but okay. She'll be tagging with Rain Leverkusen against Millie McKenzie and Nina Samuels. Then there'll be a special singles match that's been announced for their Senjo's Fukushima show on March 2nd. Their big show in March will be the Top of Joshi Wrestling at Yoyogi National Stadium Auxiliary Gymnasium. The full card is to be announced, but she will be defending the Sendai Girls World Championship against Chihiro Hashimoto. So I'm very invested in this match. And then she heads out over to Taiwan on March 29th. She'll be in a tag match with Sari against a to-be-announced tag opponents on the 16th of April for Fortune Dream 10. And then her retirement show is still scheduled for the 29th at Korakuen Hall, but they have not announced any bits of who's on the card just yet. This coming weekend, they have a show at Osaka's Azalea Hall. I don't understand how a singles match between Mika Iwata against Takumi Iroha is the semi-main event. That's a main event match. But the main event is a tag match with Dash Chisako and Chi-Chi against Yuriko Oka and Mio Momono.
Yeah, you'd think it would be flipped.
Yeah,
the top two matches there.
My note literally says, "How is this a semi-main?" ! Question mark. And of course, move over to Stardom. Stardom's New Year's Dream from January 3rd at Tokyo Garden Theater is now available on Stardom World. I am not very much a happy camper about these extended delayed broadcasts, because their pay-per-views used to be up within 3 to 4 days after broadcasts, not over a month later. The renewed Stardom World does look a lot like New Japan World, but I'm not really down with the interface. It hasn't really improved my viewing experience all that much. But on the second, you mentioned that you saw the World of Stardom Championship between Saya Kamitani and Suzu Suzuki, which was 18 minutes and 23 seconds of murder. And that was the Stardom 14th Anniversary Supreme Fight at Korakuen Hall. The only other really notable match on that card was the Artists of Stardom Trios Championships, where Neo Genesis, which is Azumi, Miyu, Amasaki, and Starlight Kid, defeated Cosmic Angels, Natsupoi, Saori Ano, and Tam Nakano to become the new Trios champions. And then Stardom is letting their talent do a lot of stuff in February. There's a lot of people who either have time off because they're either injured or they're ill or they have other commitments with smaller promotions. But the two notable ones are referee Barb Sasaki's 25th anniversary show. Love me some Barb Sasaki on March 10th. It'll feature Mayu Iwatani, Suzu Suzuki, and Starlight Kid. I don't know if they are fighting each other, if they are fighting together, or if they're fighting in separate matches. But those are... Of the three of them, Suzu makes the most sense because, you know, he is one of like the deathmatch refs. But I am curious to see how Mayu and SLK will fit into that. And then, as I mentioned previously, Sarism Chapter 7 will have Shuri and Natsupoi has been announced, but we don't know where just yet. In March, the Cinderella tournament, their single elimination tournament, which is their version of the New Japan Cup, opens on March 8th. Second day of action is March 9th, and the finals will be March 15th at the Oda Warm Gymnasium. And their biggest show of the year that isn't the end of the year show, All-Star Grand Queendom, will be April 27th at Yokohama Arena. No matches yet announced for that. Earlier today, there was a press conference for the Hana Kimura Memorial Show 2025, Volume 4, called Hanabi, or in English, as we call it, Fireworks, or if you loosely translate the characters, Fire Flowers. It's going, as always, it's going to be on the anniversary of Hana's passing on the 23rd of May at Korakuen Hall, starting at 5:30 p.m. local time. The press conference was hosted, as always, by Kyoko Kimura, Hana's mom, and referee Keigo Yoshino. They cited that the participating organizations will be Okinawa Pro Wrest, Pure J, Sendai Girls, Pro Wrestling Wave, and 666. Those who participated in the press conference today were Kyoko Kimura, the referee, Jaguar Yokota, Shin Hana Kimura, or Sakura Hirota, who does the cosplay of Hana for this event every year, Mensore Oyaji from Okinawa Pro Wrest, and Tsutomu Otsugi. They also announced the first round of participants. It's not everybody, but they've announced that Super Delphin from Okinawa Pro Wrest will be there. Veni, Mika Wata, Chihiro Hashimoto, Yuna, Banana Senga, Hanako Nakamori, Yuko Miyamoto, and Ram Kaicho. These tend to be a lot of the ones who have made regular appearances on this particular charity show every year, with the addition of Yuna. Yuna's a newer wrestler. Of course, if you go to the website, for those who are going to Japan around this time, just keep in mind currently on the website that there are dates and prices listed, but those are for event sponsorship purchases. They are not for show tickets. Show tickets will become available starting on March 3rd, and all the funds will go towards the Remember Hana NPO nonprofit organization that Kimura's mom uses to fight bullying and legal fees involving the continued battle against Fuji Television.
I gotta say, like, it's kind of interesting looking at the participating organizations who is missing from this list. Like, you know, I don't know exactly what that means per se. I don't want to these
are the ones that that tend to have a far deeper storied history with both Kyoko and Hana specifically. Some other promotions do send talent, but those are usually announced later on, closer to the date. Because every year Stardom does send some talent. There are some surprises, and then there will be a lot more people, but these organizations tend to be the core that have very deep ties with Kyoko Kimura as well as Hana. So
also, before we continue, I saw when you talked about Mako Satomura's tour of the UK, she's got 2 dates there. Listen, our friends over at Grapple, listen, JP, Benno, Benno might not be in the UK at that time, but JP, for God's sakes, take this woman to get a fucking proper English breakfast. Not that atrocity I saw on Instagram several years ago when she was working for fucking WWE UK, NXT UK, where the fuck it was called. Please get her a proper English breakfast. I just you
just bounced your camera. You are very
so angry about that breakfast. As someone who likes to take pictures of food, I was like so angry about that. I was like, no, Mako, what are you doing?
I will task Millie McKenzie with that. I don't know if JP will be able to spirit Mako Satomura away to get food. Millie McKenzie, you know, they have a long-standing relationship from their time together, both in program.
I worry it was Millie who took her to that fucking breakfast place in the first place with that horrible looking.
I feel like Millie wouldn't let her do that. I feel like
send it back. Send it back.
Go somewhere else. Get her a proper breakfast.
Exactly.
Okay. I assure you guys, we're almost done with the Joshi section. For those who are trying like to skip to the real conversations, I guess. Rounding out the Joshi section, we'll be talking about Tokyo Joshi Pro. They are coming up this weekend on the climax of their Futari Princess Max Heart Tag Tournament. Basically, Futari means two people, so it's basically their tag, fancy tag, Japanese English wase eigo titling. The key points on this card are Suzume will be defending her International Princess Championship against Jada Stone. And the main event will be the 5th annual Futari Princess Max Heart Tournament Final. No time limit, one fall. Currently, it's going to be a very interesting combination of Max the Impaler and Pam Harajuku versus Hyper Misao and Shoko Nakajima. Also, for those who always, for those who tend to love DDT's train wrestling or Shinkansen bullet train wrestling, Sanshiro Takagi does have a upcoming on the 15th on the Nozomi bullet train from Tokyo to Shin Osaka. Unfortunately, it's all sold out, but they are doing it could possibly be all women's Shinkansen wrestling. I don't know, but it was because the main event is an 8-woman tag featuring Mizuki, Miyu Watanabe, Raku, and Aja Kong against Miyu Yamashita, Maki Ito, Yuki Arai, and Max the Impaler. I don't know how this is going to work, but I am morbidly curious to see it happen.
I've seen clips of them wrestling on trains. Like DT wrestling on trains. I think I've seen clips of the Shinkansen wrestling. I tell you, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan.
I know
it's not for me. It's just not for me,
and that's okay.
And I honestly, I'll watch a clip of it. Would I pay to ride? Listen, going to fucking Tokyo to Shin Osaka Station is on the Shinkansen is fucking expensive enough. You think I want to watch
on the Nozomi too? It's
on the Nozomi. Yeah, that's the express one.
That's the
on a reserve car.
Yes.
Jesus. Let me tell you something. You think I'm paying more to see something produced by fucking Sanshiro Takagi? You're out of your fucking mind.
I would want to see it more, or I would pay for it if Mako Satomura was in this. If this is part of her retirement tour, her fighting on a Shinkansen, sure.
If she does Scorpio Rising in front of, if I'm guaranteed I see Scorpio Rising in front of me on the in the aisle of the fucking Shinkansen against someone who I hate,
step on me to do the Scorpion Rising on a Shinkansen.
I wouldn't go that far. If she does it to Takagi and to shoot Scorpio Rising, maybe I'd pay for that. Maybe. But anyways, if you're a listener to this and you are going, have fun, get an Ekiben. If you don't know what that means, it's a train station lunch box or dinner box. They're fantastic. Depends, especially if you get a local one. Holy crap, they're great.
Well,
anyway,
and Tokyo Station has lots of options when it comes to Ekiben. So
I like getting the local ones though. Like if I want to eat a Hiroshima Ekiben, I want it from Hiroshima. You know what I mean?
See, my problem is that a lot of those have seafood in them, so I can't risk it. I have to be very careful about what I have to ask them what's specifically in. It kind of takes the fun out of it, I know, but I don't want to die. And
I don't want you to die either. Be careful.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And then coming up in March on the 16th for Tokyo Joshi Pro, their biggest show of the year. Grand Princess 2025, or their first big show of the year, because they tend to do 3 or 4 a year. Will be at Oda Ward Gymnasium. The full card is to be announced, but they are anticipating 9 to 10 matches on this card. When it comes to their big shows, they cram every single person possible onto these shows. But it's announced right now will be a defense of the Princess Tag Championships, which I guess Yamashita and Ito will be defending this coming weekend against Sarah Phoenix and Pandora, and they will take on the winner of the Princess Tag Tournament as previously mentioned. The Princess Championship, Mizuki will be defending against Rika Tatsumi. And they've also announced that Yuki Arai, Aja Kong, and Max the Impaler are scheduled for this show as of right now. I'm going to do a quick thoughts about this year's WWE Women's Rumble, just because they have a lot of Japanese women in their promotion. And the Rumble is honestly, I enjoy the Rumble more than WrestleMania proper sometimes. So I love seeing Io Sky. I was surprised that Io was not in the finals and or not picked to win this year.
We all know why she wasn't picked to win this year. I mean, because someone came back.
My notes say, lol, Charlotte won, and then confronted Julia 3 days later at NXT as promised. Asuka and Kairi weren't on this because they're both out due to medical. Satomura, I kept hoping for Satomura to be on it, but she was booked for Sanshiro Takagi's 30th anniversary show on February 3rd. I was excited to see Julia and Stephanie Vaquer make their Rumble debuts. And I actually I popped a fair bit for Nikki Bella making her return. I did say that this was my favorite episode of Total Bellas as I for me to probably use my one expletive for the show. I tend to shit post over on Blue Sky. I mean, Rich Fan and I that's all I tend to do is just like, he likes everything and I just say the most random, very vague tweets
about Total Bellas.
Okay. About Nikki Bella being the Total Bellas of the Royal Rumble this year. And I loved seeing Alexa Bliss come back. I can confirm that I did fangirl excessively about Jordynne Grace showing up, much like I did last year, but even more so this year, especially when she gave Piper Niven that massive Death Valley driver. So yeah, enjoyed the Rumble. Coming up in later this month on the 15th at NXT Vengeance Day. I hate that it's a triple threat, but Julia will be making her first defense of the NXT Women's Championship against herself, against Bayley and Roxanne Perez. So either Julia's pinning Bayley, or this is the way she's going to kick Roxanne Perez out of NXT so she can go to Maine. And then quick roundup of WrestleMania week. I think I have all the dates and times listed, but again, being without Twitter makes it a little difficult. Currently, Thursday, the 14th of April, Stardom's American Dream 2025 in Sin City, in partnership with Spark Joshi, will be at 12 p.m. Spark Joshi will also have a show called Lady Luck at 5 p.m. The location for these two shows has not yet been announced, but they seem to also be being co-promoted by New Japan of America. Also, at 11 p.m. that night, Marvelous Pro Wrestling, in conjunction with Prestige and West Coast Pro and Deadlock Pro, will be having a show at Meet Las Vegas. Friday, the 18th of April, TJPW Live in Las Vegas will be at 11 a.m. at the Palms Casino Resort. It says report, I meant resort, as part of GCW's The Collective. And running right back. I mean, if you wanted to see both Stardom and Tokyo Joshi on the same day, that's not going to happen because Stardom starts an hour later over at the same venue. No, at Meet Las Vegas. Stardom American Dream 2025 in the Neon City. And then DDT, for all the DDT freaks out there. I say freak in a good way, not in a bad way because it's Vegas and keep it weird. 3 p.m. Palms Casino Resort with GCW The Collective. And then Saturday the 19th, there will be Tokyo Joshi Pro versus DDT versus GCW, which has kind of become their annual thing. 2 p.m. Palms Resort Casino as part of The Collective. And, again, thank you for 24 weekly installments and 25 monthly installments of my Joshi journey from April 30th, 2022 to this past January 2025. I look forward to highlighting more of that and continuing it here at Post ProRes. And that's all for me.
Yeah. I'm going to say about this WrestleMania week, Marvelous Wrestling, 11 p.m. Are you fucking crazy? Listen, I want to leave a wrestling show at 11 p.m., not enter one.
I'm sure Joey Janela's spring break's probably in the middle of the night as well.
And it's oh my god, this is at least going to be 3 hours long. You know that, folks. It's an indie wrestling show. It's going to be a minimum 3 fucking hours long.
And they're 2 time zones behind us. So like for me, it's like a 1 a.m. start.
Why? Why? I wouldn't go. Not because I don't want to see Marvelous live.
No, it's past my
11
bedtime.
It's 11
It's past
p.m.
my bedtime.
I don't want to be out in the city of Las Vegas past 11 p.m. Call me crazy. Maybe that's the prime time to be out in Las Vegas. Maybe not this part of Las Vegas, unless if it's not on the strip.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never been to Las Vegas.
I have, but I don't know where Meet Las Vegas is, so I don't know if it's on the strip, off the strip, or
it's probably off. Because I don't know.
I'm fairly certain that a lot of these are. It's like you're not seeing like the Bellagio or Circus or Palms. It's seemingly more. Palms Casino's on there, but they seem to be more modest venues. And also, I don't know where WrestleCon is going to be this year, when they tend to have like the Super Show and all that. But yeah,
we'll keep you updated, folks, as WrestleMania week gets closer and closer. I'm looking at. I have my own notes, and then I send my notes to Karen, and she puts it in a Google document. And so you have like the February cafe here listed here on in our shared notes.
Because I wanted to remember that in my New Japan review with Bruce is on it. Not on the free feed. That was more for me than anything else.
I see. But you're also curious about the book club. John Pollock and Neil Flanagan are starting up. Is that correct?
There is apparently a book club that was mentioned in the expanded details. I have inquired with the bosses as to what those details are, and may or may not have hooked me up with the information for that. But yes,
I see.
If you're curious,
well, I have not been privy to this. I have not been privy to this, so maybe they're saving it for when I meet them in person over brunch on 2 consecutive days. Listen, I'm not trying to make you jealous. You know, I'm trying to make jealous. Is one Neil Flanagan, their man Neil, because he's always like, WH, you had lunch with Dunn again.
I'm very jealous. I have yet.
And then,
to have
of course, if I'm
having
having lunch with Wei, if I'm having a meal with Wei, I'm more jealous. You're meeting up with Wei though. He's my best friend over there. And I'm like, what the fuck? What about me? He's like, after you, of course, WH. After you. So there you go. Anyways, maybe I'll get.
And yet you say he's not your man, Neil, but
he's my buddy, Neil. He's not my man. I can't claim that title. I've said he's your man, Neil. He's Karen Peterson's man, Neil. He's John Way's man, Neil. He's Brandon from New Jersey's man, Neil. Like, not mine. I don't claim anyone. Especially not Neil Flanagan, but he's my Airbnb roommate whenever he's in Toronto. Neil Flanagan. There you go. He's my Airbnb roommate. How about that? Maybe that will satisfy him when he hears WH. You put me over. Thank you so much. There you go.
Hey, the WH Park homestay program.
That's right. There you go. But the book club,
for wayward Europeans.
Karen's gonna give me all the details after we go off air. But let's talk about some. What do we say? It's not Joshi Pro Wrestling. Was it
Danshi
Pro-Res? Hi.
Yeah.
The men. Shinihan Pro-Res on the NJPW. That's my fake. I should stop doing that. But when I speak Japanese, I do use an accent. I do try to use an accent. I do.
See, my voice gets higher, and people are like, "Why are you trying to be like super cute?" And I'm like, "Because I'm nervous as all get out."
No, people will be like to me, like I'll sometimes use my regular accent to speak Japanese, but I feel my Japanese friends like understand me better if I try to use a Japanese accent with them. So I try to affect. It's like anyone who speaks English, like they're trying to affect either American or Canadian. It depends what country they're in, right? Where they learned English.
Absolutely.
They try to affect an accent. It's not me appropriating. It's just this is how I speak Japanese, right? When it's like, hi, osusume nan desu ka? Like that's, I suppose that's close. If I'm like, hi, peppercino. Yes. Yeah.
I haven't had peppercino pasta in a long time.
Hitotsu onegaishimasu. Karage.
Kashikomarimashita. Arimasu yo.
ありますよ。本当一つお願いします。はい。
はい、わかりました。
わかりました。ありがとうございました。はい。So that's my, I don't think it's necessarily great, but it's easier for my Japanese friends to understand me if I affect kind of a Japanese accent. And like, it's more natural if I'm talking to a Japanese person rather than me doing it
Well,
here.
I mean,
So
it's just like no, it's like when you're trying to learn any language. At first, it might sound like you're making fun of it or mimicking it, but that's how you like. For me, when I studied Italian in college, I had to trying to learn to roll my R's and then having to untrain my tongue in Japanese because you don't roll your R's in Japanese was quite the challenge for me. So I would be like totori, and I'm like, wait, no, I can't say totori like that.
You say it very cute. It's like totori, like
totori.
that, right?
Yeah, yes,
totori.
I do.
Hi.
Totori.
Hi. Kawaii desu.
Kawaii. Thank you.
Kawaii. Yes. Anyways, let's move on. Shinya Perez, New Japan, the road to the new beginning. It was at the Sendai Sun Plaza Hall. 1,077 spectators came to see the show. In our main match, we had the Never 6-man tag championship being contested between the 29 champions of Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toru Yano, and Bolton Oleg, taking on the challengers of HOT, or as I like to call them, SHIT, Ren Narita, Yujiro Takahashi, and Sho. And guess what? SHIT won. Sho with a schoolboy on Yano. The champions fall on their third title defense. Who cares? These titles suck. They mean nothing. And House of Torture become the 30th champions. And you're probably wondering, hey, WH, House of Torture doesn't translate into the anagram of SHIT. Well, if you watch their matches, that translates into SHIT. Let's move on. Road to the New Beginning on February 3rd at Corkin Hall. 928 spectators. This place holds 2,000 fucking people. What the fuck?
But it was a Monday.
I don't care. They had a title defense. They can't get fucking 1,500 in here? Are you fucking kidding me? Listen, Dragon Gate can run on a Monday, Karen. They'll get close to capacity.
I know.
Usually. I don't know about recently, but you know, like most pay places can run like if it's New Japan. New Japan does not have any excuse not to run capacity. I don't care what day it is. It started at 6:30. You keep it to 2.5 hours, everyone's getting on the lap before the last train. They can even stop off at fucking Caesarea to get some fucking peppercino pasta. You know what I'm saying? And some chicken wings. The Tebasaki, by the way, everything at Caesarea, by the way.
God, I miss Tebasaki. Their chicken wings are so good.
Anyways, on this show that not too many fans bothered to come to, even though there's a title match, the World Television title was contested between the current champion, El Phantasmo, and he took on former champ, your boy, Jeff Cobb. Did you see the Daisuke Sekimoto versus Jeff Cobb match on Big Japan Wrestling? Did you watch that one, Karen? Not yet. Did I send you the link for it?
You did not.
I will send you the link for that. I'll send you the link for that. You just have to watch the main event. I know you don't like the deathmatch wrestling, so just watch the main events. I'm a dweeb.
I'm not cool.
My man, Big Dice, taking on Jeff Cobb. Big boy, you like the big boy slapping ham, right?
Very, very respectfully, I do love the Haas fight.
Yeah. So you'll like that match. Anyways, Phantasmo retains his title in 12 minutes 45 seconds, following the Thunder Kiss 86, his second successful title defense. And following the loss, Jeff Cobb stated that maybe it's time for him to go somewhere else. What do you make of that, Karen?
I mean, if it's what he wants, fine.
Do you think he got an offer?
I would be surprised if he hasn't been getting offers. Given, as they always say on commentary, it isn't fair the things that Jeff Cobb can do. He could easily go to either promotion and make a boatload of money. But like I say about anyone potentially leaving, because it is that time of year, if it's what he wants and it's what's best for him and his family, sure, I will continue to support him.
I'm thinking if it's anyone, because past working relationship, it's going to be AEW versus WWE. I just think that's probably a better fit.
Yeah,
and like Ospreay's already there, you can always tie that in, and he's worked there before and got over. I thought he did
Oh yeah,
really well when he was in AEW. So yeah, and I think unless they're gonna push Cobb into the IWGP World Title picture, which I don't think they will. I think they would have tried to by now. I feel that's just my feeling. That it's probably time for him to go somewhere else. That it's time. Like, listen, dude, like you can make a lot of money in America wrestling on television. I think it's time for Jeff Cobb to become a television star. You can't be a television star necessarily in Japan anymore. I feel like, in 2025, it's a lot harder. I feel, because American television wrestling has kind of like become popular again, especially WWE, and and of course, close second. Well, not close second, but second is AEW, of course. But like, if you want to make money, if you want to make real money, you have to go to one of these promotions. So, listen, Jeff Cobb, if you're going to one of the companies, we'll be keeping an eye on what you're doing over in those places.
Just let me interview you before you leave.
There you go.
before you go corporate, let me get some conversation time for the post pro res.
The next day on the 4th, which is a Tuesday at Korakuen Hall, which got 12,087 people. There you go. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title Championship was contested between champion El Desperado, and he took on his challenger was TMDK's Kosei Fujita, and Desperado won in 23 minutes and 3 seconds with the Pinche Loco. This was his second successful title defense, and afterwards, good Italian boy Francesco Akira showed up, and he said, "I want a match." And he's going to have a match at the show entitled, what was it called? It is called Flag Raising Day on March 6th.
The anniversary show.
It's called Flag Raising Day.
Nahatage Kinenbi. It's the anniversary show.
March 6th. 6:30 start time at Oda Ward General Gymnasium in Tokyo. A nice venue. Not too much around it. You have to kind of travel to find some place to eat afterwards.
Yeah,
or
beforehand. And it's a bit of a walk from the station too. It is.
El Desperado will defend his IWGP Junior title against Francesco Akira, the good Italian boy, and one of Neil Flanagan's, your man Neil's favorite wrestlers. There you go. Let's move on to Pro Wrestling Noah. They had they're going to have a big show coming up on the 11th.
Could I interrupt real quick?
Yes, of course.
Well, on this coming Tuesday, it's the New Beginning in Osaka, and I have the card for you.
Oh yes, I apologize. I get ahead of myself.
No. Oh, it's fine. Do you want me to run it down?
Oh yes, please. You're gonna be covering it, not me.
Yeah, Bruce Lord and I, Whiskey and Sake, or the band is back together this February, coming up on Tuesday. It'll probably be recorded late on Tuesday afternoon, evening due to time zones but it is at the Post Wrestling Cafe. So it'll be November, not November. It feels like November. February 11th at the Osaka Edion Arena. It'll include Hiroshi Tanahashi's retirement road he'll be having a singles match against Togi Makabe. Shingo Takagi versus Drilla Maloney, Shota Umino versus the Great Okan, Taichi versus Sonata. I don't know why these two matches are happening. I'm most interested in Takagi versus Maloney. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Championships, Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita, the Ichiban Sweet Boys, will be defending against Yo and Rocky Romero as Roppongi Revice. Never Openweight Championship, Konosuke Takeshita will be defending against Oleg Boltin. IWGP Tag Championships, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson will defend against Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi. The Global Heavyweight Championship will be Yota Tsuji defending his championship against Gabe Kidd. And could there be a title change for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship? Zack Sabre Jr. against Hiroki Goto. And if Goto wins, I will be insufferable in the best way possible for the rest of the year because he deserves it. And then Windy City Riot on April 11th. Right now, Tanahashi versus Konosuke Takeshita will be Tanahashi's final U.S. match.
I was actually speaking to my good friend Scrum from PWT Cast and Rich Fan privately, and I said maybe I'll come down to Chicago for this. Guess what? I ain't flying anywhere near the United States for the next foreseeable future. So
you don't want to drive for 5 hours.
I've done it. I've done the drive from Toronto to Chicago. No, I just don't. I just do not. I'm sorry.
No,
I wish I could. I love this.
I don't want you to fly. I don't want anyone to fly. Honestly, I want everyone to be safe.
I love visiting America. I just don't feel like I want to go for the foreseeable future.
Correct.
But anyways, this new beginning card in Osaka, this never open weight title match, I'm very excited to see this. And that's about it. Well, yeah, Zack versus Goto. I think Goto has a very good chance. I think this is his gold watch title win. You know what I mean? Like,
fine by me.
I don't think it hurts Zack if he loses. They've done kind of title switches like this before.
Yeah.
Tatsumi Fujinami beating Tanahashi was like, even though he had been multiple times IWGP, they like, oh, let's give it to Tanahashi. No, wait, who did he beat? He beat Sasaki. He beat Kensuke. I remember, he beat Kensuke. And it was just like, what? Kensuke was like on this roll, like this massive title run with the IWGP title, and then he was defeated by Tatsumi Fujinami of all people. It was like, okay, there you go. So, I think it's very possible Hiroki Goto has a very good chance of defeating. I don't think it would hurt Zack. Honestly, I think you can always put the title back on him before the end of the year if you want to, but if Goto gets it, give him at least like 3 title defenses. I think that would be not just have it win it and then lose it right away. Just let him keep it for a little while. Have
at
like
least a Dominion matches. Worst case the G1.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine. And so like I'm rooting for Hiroki Goto. I think a lot of people I feel online I see are like really rooting for Hiroki Goto to get something he deserves. He deserves it. He's a great worker. He's been so loyal to this company, sometimes maybe to a fault. And he had the Tokyo Sports 2024 match of the year. So for against some guy that against someone who's 20 years his junior. So I feel like if you're gonna put the fucking title on Manabu Nakanishi, you could put it on fucking Hiroki Goto. He's a better worker than Nakanishi. Yes, I know why they put on Nakanishi for the time they did. It's fine. But if you're going to give it to him, you can give it to, it's not going to affect business. In fact, I think it might help business if you have Goto be the champion. Anyways, yes, Konosuke Takeshita is having a very nice run in both America and Japan. So like, I'm looking forward to, I think Tanahashi is going to put on his working boots to go against Mr. Takeshita in Chicago here. There you go. Pro Wrestling Noah, Go Shiozaki is going to have double knee surgery. Jesus Christ.
He already had it.
Or he's had it already. This poor man. I
don't think I will ever get to see him wrestle ever.
Go, just be a trainer, my friend. Show up. You have nothing to prove. You had a great career. I honestly think folks watch when he debuts in Noah to the time he leaves Noah to go to All Japan. He has a great run in pro wrestling, in All Japan Pro Wrestling. He makes his comeback. He has a great run up until like 2 years ago. Let the Met like with Axis with Nakajima. Be healthy. Go think of your future. Of like hanging out with your family. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to prove anything. No. Yes, and we already talked about the sad news of Omos going back to WWE to do nothing and giving his tag belt to Daga. Oh my God, why Daga? Anyways, hopefully I'm hoping my main man Galeno Delmal finds a good big beefy partner and takes the tag titles away from Team X2000 here. Coming up on February 11th, Noah's Star Navigation Premium Show at Korakuen Hall. We'll see some Junior Tag League action in B Block. Atsushi Kotoge and Hajime Ohara will take on the team of the much hated Tadasuke and Yuto Kikuchi. I'm very indifferent about Kikuchi, but man, God, I hate me some Tadasuke. I hate that guy. Talk about people I hate. A Block is going to feature Hayata and Yohei taking on Mark True and Kieran Lacey, who I'm completely indifferent to. So hey, you know what, Mark True and Kieran Lacey, I hope you beat their asses, the Rattels, because I hate some Rattels. But also we're gonna have a big title match, Karen. GHC National Championship match. Tetsuya Endo of Team X 2000 will take on former champion Manabu Soya in his first title defense. Woo! That should be a good match. I like Endo here in Noah. I like
seeing him in Noah.
Yeah, it's great. Non DDT Endo. It's great. Also in tag match, tag league action, A Block, Alejandro and Kai Fujimura will take on the team of Daga and Daiki Odashima. So not only is Daga the GHC, one half of the GHC heavyweight tag champions, he's also a junior. Wow.
Yes.
Open weight. Gotta love it. Special tag match. Wow. Are you ready for this, Karen? Keno is teaming up with your boy, Kenta. Double K's. Taking on the team of Kaito Kiyomiya and Shuhei Taniguchi. What the fuck? I don't know. Is this the return of Kenta to touring regularly with Pro Wrestling Noah? Maybe his New Japan days are done?
I think it's because it's the 25th anniversary year, and New Japan really doesn't have anything for him. I mean, if they're not going to have him in the New Japan Cup or in the G1 this year, why not? Why not let him be? Because honestly, Kenta in Pro Wrestling Noah was the Kenta that I fell in love with and became a fan of. So, and they're letting him be that. So I'm fine with it.
And the main event will be GHC Heavyweight Championship match. The current champion Ozawa will take on Galeno Del Mal. I think Ozawa is going to retain, but hey, you know what? I'm excited to see Galeno Del Mal kind of step up and see, like, hey, can he be as good as his brother, Dr. Wagner Jr.? We will find out. I like this guy. He's so beefy. He uses his size well.
He is a beefy man.
From GLEAT, we're gonna get the big show from on March 9th at Shinkiba First Ring in Tokyo. I forget. You've seen shows at First Ring, right?
Yes, my very first Stardom show was at Shinkiba, and it was freezing cold.
I love this venue because it is so intimate. Like, it's great. It's one of my favorite places.
But it also feels like a shed out in the countryside.
Listen, it's better than being in there during summer. Okay.
Yeah.
You can stay warm. Fair. You can stay warm, but you can't get any cool. You can't take any more clothes off.
Yeah, no, a very sweet older gentleman at the Stardom show gave me his jacket to use as a blanket. It was like a puffer jacket because I was shaking. I was so cold. So,
but GLEAT will have their Lidet UWF version 5 show. Under UWF rules, we will see El Lindemann taking on perennial favorite of everyone, Minoru Suzuki. El Lindemann is a very interesting person because he's been their, the G-Rex champion in GLEAT. That means that he was their world heavyweight champion. And if you see, no offense, I love El Lindemann. He's not a heavyweight at all. He's a very small man. So Minoru Suzuki is one of those guys who straddles, can be like, his size is kind of juniorish. I think he is more of a junior when he first started out, and then he's based on his reputation more than anything else, rather than his size. He's considered a heavyweight. So this should be actually a good, I think, very interesting match. I think El Lindemann is probably not going to win. I don't think Minoru Suzuki hands out wins very easily. But I do think it's a great showcase for him to kind of have a very high profile match with a legend in Japanese wrestling. So I keep an eye out for that. And then for the Lidet UWF World Championship match, the third champion, Katsuhiko Nakajima, will take on challenger Simon Gotch, formerly of NXT, formerly of like a ton of other places. And this will be his fourth title defense. I think that'll be kind of an interesting matchup. I don't know what kind of a match it will be, watching it, but like, I'm kind of curious to see like if the styles mix or not. In other news, got the results of the Giant Baba 25th anniversary memorial show. I haven't seen the whole thing. I've been working my way through it. It's a long show, but it looks like it looks like it was pretty fun. Like it was at Corkin Hall, which is always a great place to have a wrestling show. This was the Taiokeya retirement show and Fumito Kihara ring announcer debut 35th anniversary commemoration show. So it's like a double celebration. This happened on January 31st. At Corkin Hall, 1,717 spectators, Karen, and you can't say it was on Friday. It could have been on Monday. I think they would have drawn something close to it. Maybe not exactly 1,700, but close to it, I feel. Anyways, unfortunately, Osamu Nishimura missed the show because he was ill, but Tsumi Fujinami took his place on the show. I'm not really going to go through the whole thing. I do think, I haven't watched all of it. I watched a bit of it. I started watching it. If you need the link, Karen, you let me know.
I always do.
Right. Anyways, some of the
research purposes.
Some of the kind of highlights here will be like Meiko Satomura took on Nanae Takahashi, and that was a 15-minute time limit draw. After the match, Naya asked Satomura to tag with her one last time, and Meiko accepted the offer. From Limit Break, there was an 8-man tag match. Muhammad Yone, Atsushi Kotoge, Hajime Ohara, and Daiki Odashima took on Yukio Naya, Yuki Ino, Tomimitsu Matsunaga, and Yuya Kuroko. And the winner was Yone following the Kiniku Buster on Matsunaga. The Kihara ring announcer anniversary tag match, Yuji Nagata and Takuya Nomura. Pump it into my veins, this tag team.
Let's go!
Took on Koji Iwamoto and Fuminori Abe. Oh, I haven't got to this match. I might just skip ahead to watch this match. Nagata won with the backdrop hold on Iwamoto. A special street fight, the Tornado Bunkhouse 8-man tag death match. Asushi Onita, Ryuichi Fire Kawakami, Raijin Yaguchi, and Yuko Miyamoto took on Jun Kasai, Shuji Ishikawa, Masashi Takeda, and Black Men's-Ray. I will totally skip this match. And because you know who won? Fucking Asushi Onita, of course. There you go. And of course, the 21st anniversary of Giant Baba's passing, which was also Taiokeya's retirement tag match, was a 6-man tag match featuring Taiokeya, Minoru Suzuki, and Mazada versus Jun Akiyama, Naomichi Marufuji, and Satoshi Kojima with referee Kyohei Wada. Winner was Jun Akiyama in 19 minutes, 57 seconds, following a wrist clutch style exploder suplex on Kea. Fitting because these two were kind of paired together in the late 90s, just before the Noah Exodus, and Taiokeya was pretty much going to be Akiyama's tag partner, like how Akiyama, when he was a younger wrestler, he was paired with Misawa at first, then he moved on to be Kobashi's regular tag partner. And he got the rub from teaming with those guys. That was what's going to happen with Kea in the late 90s. Before the Exodus, Kea was going to be Akiyama's protege. He's going to be his regular tag partner, and then become a singles wrestler on his own. Kea would do that post Exodus with actually he had a great tag team with Johnny Smith before. After the Exodus happened, and then Keiji Muto came in. He liked Kea, so he took him under his wing. Then Kea formed one of my favorite All Japan tag teams of the 2000s, which was him and Jamal, aka Umaga, in Roughly Obsess and Destroy, the faction led by Taka Michinoku of ex-WWE guys, WWF guys in All Japan Pro Wrestling. A lot of them went over there. Bill Buchanan, D'Lo Brown, I think Tomko for a short period, or was he in Voodoo Murders? Trying to remember. Anyways, Jamal, Taiokeya, awesome tag team, but then he would form a unit with Nosawa and Mazada and Minoru Suzuki. Why Masada and Nosawa were there? I think Nosawa just ingratiates himself with like a lot of people in the scene. So there you go. Anyways, that was a great unit. A lot of great matches with Suzuki and Kea. I was a big fan of Taiokeya, and so hey, he had a great career, Triple Crown champion, multiple time world tag team champion. So here's to a great retirement, Taiokeya. You will be missed. I enjoyed your work a lot, and hey, you know what? If you're gonna go out to anyone, it had to be to Jun Akiyama. So showing up for Taiokea's retirement ceremony afterwards was Toshiaki Kawada, Masanobu Fuchi, Taru, and Keishimuro, and they all presented Taiokeia with flowers out of respect for his many, many years of service to the pro wrestling industry in Japan. And Kea thanked everyone for their support, and I'm sure he's enjoying a very nice retirement in Hawaii right now, because that's where he's from. You can't retire anywhere, Karen. Hawaii's not a bad place to do it.
No, it's very expensive to live there.
But it's not a bad place to live, from what I hear.
I enjoyed it. It was just really expensive.
Also happening was the Tenryu Project, Tenryu Festival at, at the Shinkiba First Ring in Tokyo. In some of the results, Tenryu recommended single match, Yuji Hino versus Kuma Arashi. Yuji Hino following the fucking bomb. I know a lot of people love Yuji Hino. I'm not a fan. Like, he's big. He's got this massive belly button. I think his belly button is bigger than his belly. If you ever seen it live, it's quite a sight to see. But I just think he's kind of a dickhead. Like, I did not enjoy. Like, I never interacted with him personally. I've seen my friends try to interact with him in autograph signings. Kind of a dickhead. So, but then can't. And I think he's fine for wrestler. I just think he's overrated, to be quite honest with you. So I wouldn't be going out of my way to watch this personally. Kuma Arashi's okay. Not enough for me to watch a Yuji Hino match.
Bear Storm.
There you go. What else do we have here? Tenryu Festival mixed match. Dash Chizako and Jun Masaoka took on Zones. How do you pronounce it? Zones?
I've seen the katakana for it, and it's Zones. Zonesu. Zones. But it's Roman. It's in like Romaji, or English all capitals zones. So I mean, it all depends on how accurate you want to read it.
Sure. Zones, and Ray Paloma. Chisako wins with the hormone splash on Paloma. What does that even mean? The hormone splash? It's like Yoda Tsuchi's and his gene splash.
The gene blast. No.
Gene blast. I want to
say it. I want to say it has to do with yakiniku. Like how you can order hormone, but I could be completely wrong.
Could be. Oh, that's it. By the way, if you're gonna eat hormone, cook it well. Trust me, cook it thoroughly.
Yep. Don't get food poisoning.
Food poisoning.
Pile it on some rice. Call it a day.
Let's see what else happened. Let's just talk about the main event. It was the main event was Chihiro Hashimoto and Koji Iwamoto taking on it was actually like a tournament. Dash Chizako and Jun Masaoka and Kenta Kobashi made a surprise appearance for Tenryu's 75th birthday. That's great of him. When Tenryu in the 2000s, so Tenryu came to try to save all Japan after the Exodus, and he wrestled there, and then he went freelance, and he showed up in Pro Wrestling Noah, and it was great, Karen, because now after he left all Japan in the 90s, like there was a lot of unfinished business with all the young boys he abused, not in reality, but in the ring, like as seniors will do to their kohais, right? He beat the shit out of Misawa. He beat the shit out of Kenta Kobashi. They never got their payback on him because he went to form SWS. He came back to Noah, and my God, it was great because Misawa, Tenryu in the ring, he was like, fuck you. This is payback for all the times you beat me up in the ring. Because Tenryu was one of those guys. Hey, you gotta be able to hang with him physically to get his respect. He's, for all accounts, great guy. Lance Storm says he's the best boss he ever had in Japan or anywhere, pretty much. Also, Kenta Kobashi, there's a great thing where like they're having a 6-man. Kobashi's on one side, Tenryu's on the other. Tenryu just takes his water bottle and fucking whips it at Kobashi. And he's pissed. It's great. The heat.
Oh my
god. Oh my god. Like Tenryu, one of the great dickheads of Japanese pro wrestling. By that I mean like some guy you just think, oh my god, he's such a bully in the ring, right? Like Shinjiro Otani, another great one of my favorites of all time. But Tenryu is like on a different level. It's so great. But anyways, thankfully he forgave him for bottle, throwing the water bottle. Like, it was full. It was a full bottle of water. He threw at Kenta Kobashi, hit him, and he was like pissed. It was great. If you can, I forget which match that was. It was like a 6-man. Go check it out, folks. It was great. Anyways, hey, you know what? 75th birthday party. Tenryu, I hope he's got 25 more. I love this man. He's such a great, it just gives me so many memories of some great pro wrestling. Sanshiro Takagi 30th anniversary commemoration show was called Never Say Never. And that's kind of like how I feel about watching his matches. Just kidding. Or am I? But I make a note of this because I got to mention this match. This happened on February 3rd at Shinjuku Face. Yuji Nagata denigrated his reputation and his career by getting in there with Kuroshio, Tokyo, Japan, Jacket Man, and he beat him 3 times. Nagata beat him 3 times in 1 minute 44 seconds via pinfall. They had an immediate rematch, and Nagata won that in 30 seconds with a pinfall. And finally, they had one more rematch, which Nagata won in 6 minutes, 11 seconds with a backdrop hold. I think the entirety of this entire match, though, was like maybe 40 minutes just for most of that was Kuroshio's entrance, which he likes to take a long time with. I don't know that for a fact, but, you know.
Did you watch this entire card?
No, God, no.
Oh, I was going to ask you, did you happen to watch the Meiko Satomura match? Because she did a singles match against Sakura Hirota. And of course, in honor of Sanshiro Takagi, Sakura Hirota did a Sanshiro Takagi cosplay. And I still remember how good her Takeshita cosplay was. So I was curious to see if you had seen any clips or anything.
How was her cosplay of Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen hers, but her Hana one was really good. But her Takeshita one was really good.
You know, Sanshiro Takagi cosplays Stone Cold Steve Austin, right?
Does he?
That's his gimmick. That was his gimmick when he was earlier in his career. Is he did like he wore a vest. His black tights are an homage to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He stole like moves. Yes, so that's why I say how was her cosplay of Stone Cold Steve Austin, because I have to. If anyone's on Blue Sky that has a picture of it, please send it to me. I'm very curious to see what the cosplay level was for the show. Anyways, Nagata then denigrated himself even further and is ruining his legacy as a pro wrestler by saying he wants to tag with Kuroshio, and they will take on, oh my God, 2 guys I might hate. Maybe even more than the Rattels, the Brahmin Brothers. Have you ever seen the Brahmin Brothers, Karen?
I don't think I have.
You don't need to. Trust me. And this will happen at one of Takagi's M&A show. Not MMA, M&A show in Ueno on April 9th. I'm not even morbidly curious about this, Karen. I just feel...
I will only be morbidly curious if Yuji Nagata gets a jacket. If he has a jacket, a Blue Justice jacket.
We'll find out.
You hate it so much, but the man's been wrestling for what, 30 years now?
Yes, I want him to go out with a clean record of not doing bullshit.
I know. But
upcoming.
If this is what he wants, let him have it.
Upcoming Pro Wrestling Evolution Shinkiba show on February 19th at Shinkiba First Ring in Tokyo. Pro Wrestling Evolution is basically a Joshi promotion, but it's run by Suwama and Shichikawa. So they wrestle on these shows. Chika versus Rina Yamashita, Shiji Ishikawa and Dan Tamura will take on Fuminori Abe and Toa Iwasaki. But the main event will be very interesting. Suwama will take on one of my favorite wrestlers, Takuya Nomura. God, I really want to see this match. So that's something to look forward to.
I'm excited.
Also, Kenta Kobashi's Fortune Dream. They announced the matches. Newly announced will be Meiko Satomura teaming up with Sare, taking on Damage Control of Bailey and Io Sky. What? Just kidding. I don't know. Can you imagine that was a match? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That would be fucking amazing. You know who'd want that match? Bailey. Bailey would want that match. You know she would. She'd be like, "Oh my god, I get to wrestle Mako Satomura in Japan in Korakuen Hall." She would love that. You know, I think the only bigger nerd for Joshi besides Mercedes Moné is maybe Bailey. I feel she is a big Joshi fan.
Oh yeah.
She didn't talk about it that much, but I just get the impression, like, you know what? She's such a wrestling like super like fan, as well as being a great wrestler, that she's probably like, I want to wrestle Mako Satomura and Sare into you know, can you imagine it was her and Io versus oh god, give me that match. That's just me like fantasizing.
Inject it into my veins, please.
Quiet Storm, who's a freelance wrestler, and Andy Wu, also a freelance wrestler, will take on the team of Yukio Naya from DDT and Junta Miyawaki from Pro Wrestling Noah. And previously announced matches where we'll see Minoru Suzuki, Takashi Sugiura, and Mitsuya Nagai take on Yuji Hino. Diamond Onji. Forgive me if I butchered that. I apologize. And Sugutaka Sato from Tochigi, and Tradition Dream Jun Akiyama will take on Daiki Odashima from Pro Wrestling Noah. This should be a fun match. I always like the whenever I get to see a Fortune Dream show, they're always fun. Kenta Kobashi's like got such great energy when he's like introducing the show at the beginning, and they do the the ceremony afterwards. It's great. It's always great. Did you see the one Kairi's on? Yes. Where she's crawling over to Kobashi because she idolized Kenta Kobashi. He was her favorite wrestler when she was growing up, and he gave her like the pep talk. You can do it. It's great. Young Kairi in her early days, such a great baby face, and just you just wanted to see her succeed in even everything. Now, of course, everything. But back then, wow.
I'm in the opposition in the sense that I want Kairi to go become a babyface again. I mean, not Damage Control babyface, pure pirate princess, NXT era pirate babyface. That's what I want.
I said they missed out on like just marketing her, like merchandise, pirate stuff. I think people would have lapped it up. I think a lot of fans like they could have done the glasses. The whole kit and caboodle, an eye patch, I don't know.
The elbow pad, the elbow with the little yacht wheel.
I mean, I think my kind of hope, if I can talk about WB, is like I would like to see I want to see original Damage Control with Kairi in it. I don't think necessarily Asuka would fit in there. I feel Asuka's got a lot mileage of doing like something heelish with some other wrestlers. Yeah. But but I want to right now Io is basically a babyface, and Dakota Kai, and she's injured. They're both babyfaces. Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, they're too wildly popular to stay heels.
No, and I think people want to see Bayley reunite with them,
Yes,
and have Kairi in the mix as well. So I think a quartet, Damage Control as a quartet, perfect. When you got Asuka when they all turned, she joined and they eventually turned on Bayley. It made sense story-wise. I don't necessarily think you need Asuka to be in Damage Control. I think it's something that she's better off on her own as a babyface, or is a leader of a heel faction. Maybe we'll see. But there you go. That is our post Perez show for February of 2025. And we said earlier. This is our last free show. That'll be on the free feed. All the previous shows will still be in the archives, of course. But if you want to get future editions of Post Perez and Dream Slam Monthly, the audio version, the video version, however you want to consume your Post Perez, please sign up to the Patreon, to the Post Wrestling Cafe, patreon.com/Post Wrestling. It's great. Besides us, you get so much content. Karen with Bruce Lord, me with Rich Van, John Wade together doing multiple types of shows. Most of the reviews, like pay-per-view reviews, tend to be over there. Also SmackDown reviews are on the cafe side of things. So I think when they feel like it's something is like, this is kind of premium content, we want to try to provide it. There's a lot of benefits, I think, for fans to come over to migrate to the paid side of post wrestling. A lot of it is like extra content. Like you get a lot of benefits too. Like if you are top tier, if you're a producer in the producer tier, you get to pick a match for them to review, and they'll usually have, you know, the producer come on with them. Like you pick the match or something for them to review. Could be a movie, could be something else. You get to talk about it yourself with John and Wei. I don't like, you know, not many people get to do that. So there you go. I'm fortunate I get to do that. Karen's lucky she gets to do that. You know, we get to do content.
I should make
John
them watch
John
some
Wei.
more Joshi. Like, hey guys, how about this?
They're not going to complain about that, Karen. They're not Benno. They're not going to complain about that. Right? So you should, you know, maybe you can somehow approach them and say, hey, you need to do some content with talking about Sendai Girls from 2016 or something, and a review away, something like that. But yes,
like,
what do we got? So Karen, let's do some plugs. You got your new beginning in Osaka with Bruce Lord coming up. That's on the Patreon side. Anything else?
Yep. Other than that, right now, just our next edition of Post Pro Res in March, which will be exclusive on the Pro Wrestling Post Pro Wrestling Cafe. Other than that, who knows?
We'll see.
I mean, I'm guessing at some point, you know, Mania week that I might be doing something. I don't know. I gotta talk to the powers that be and see where I'm needed.
Well, Karen Peterson will definitely be joining myself and Rich Fan over at MCU later to talk some Daredevil, Born Again. Yes, we're still figuring out our guest list, but me and Rich Fan, MCU later. Speaking of which, we're going to talk about the new Spider-Man cartoon on Disney Plus, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I think we're doing our first review as of this recording starting next week. We're also got Captain America: Brave New World coming up as well. Is it New World Order or Brave? I think it's Brave New World now. It's hard to keep track.
I don't think it's New World Order.
No, it's Brave New World with Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, aka Captain America, taking on Harrison Ford's President Thaddeus Ross, aka the Red Hulk. It'd be interesting. But also Giancarlo Esposito is in this movie. And it looks like a great cast. I'm excited to watch it and review it with Rich. We might have a guest for that. We're still thinking about that, but and then coming up starting in March, Daredevil Born Again. It's a long show. They're doing it in 2 parts. They're releasing a certain number of episodes, and then they're going to release the other episodes, the back end of the episode series later on in the year. That's how we're going to review it as well. But we're going to go week to week each episode as we would normally a series on Disney Plus for Marvel. And besides that, I will be doing a review of Dune Part 1 with Wei for the Patreon. A producer picked it for them to review, and John is on vacation during the time that the slot that this producer picked it. So Wei asked me, as kind of the resident huge super fan of the Dune franchise, whether it's the books
That's awesome.
or the movies. So I'll be talking about Denis Villeneuve's masterpiece, Dune Part 1. Dune Part 2, by the way, has been nominated for an Oscar along with some other movies that don't deserve to be Oscar nominees. But I feel that way every year about the Oscars. And I haven't watched the Oscars in like 20 years because I just feel like I'm done with the Oscars. I follow the results, Karen, but I don't watch the Oscars anymore. So anyways, there's that. The Long and Winding Road. I actually taped an episode last night, and that's going to be released sometime here in February with Benno from the Grapple podcasting network. Our friends, our brothers over on the other side of the Atlantic. You know what? I'm going to tell you, Karen, it's me and Benno, and we talked about a match like you and I last time on Long and Winding Railroad. We talked about Pro Wrestling No. We continue talking about Pro Wrestling No and not All Japan. And Benno and I decided to talk about from 2008. We talked about Kenta challenging for the GHC Junior Heavyweight title. Do you want to know who he faced in 2008, Karen? He took on Bryan Danielson.
That's why you got Benno. That was ROH era Danielson, right?
This says, yes, it's ROH era Danielson.
He's the fun ROH guy.
It was a fun show to record with Benno, where I said he is the John Pollock of grapple. What do you think about that comparison, Karen?
Yeah. Yes. And I'm trying to think of the remaining members of grapple, and I would be inclined to say that Gareth would be the way. JP is you. No, JP is you.
No. JP is way. You're you. You're both. No.
I'm Maddie.
Okay,
I'm the one who always
who's
picking fights with everybody.
You want to know? Okay, here's a sneak peek. Okay, for those listen to the show with Benno, but here's a sneak peek. Benno is John Pollock. Okay. JP is Way. Matty Edwards is me, except Matty, not about Japanese wrestling. He's me if I loved Roman Reigns and Randy Orton.
So does that make me Gareth?
No, Gareth is like fucking Brandon Thurston, man. He's like the most articulate and like fucking like smartest guy there, except outside of Benno, right? Because Benno is John, right?
I mean, I guess they do have a joint custody agreement with Post for me, so I guess I can't beat
you. You're you. Like
I have also grapples Karen Peterson.
Exactly. You're you at both. There's no like parallel. Like, how could you be Matty Edwards? You do not love Randy Orton or Roman Reigns the way he does. He loves Randy Orton and Roman Reigns like I love Japanese pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Right? That's the simple. But hey, listen,
excuse me.
He's my hero. He's like I'm his hero, not the other way around. But anyways, no, I'm just kidding. I have a lot of respect and admiration for Matty Edwards, his love of Randy Orton notwithstanding and stuff. But there you go. But anyways, that's coming up later this month. Check that out. It's a fun show with Benno. We talk a lot about the history of Kenta and Bryan Danielson before this match, and like kind of like what I felt were like stylistic similarities to All Japan of the 1990s, except with junior heavyweights. So there you go. Like there's that connection, and I gotta book my next guest for that show. I have an idea, so but I'm not gonna spoil it. I didn't even tell you. I know. Yeah, I'm not even telling you about. I didn't tell you about Benno and this match until now. No, why? I don't want to spoil it. But I
want to watch the match too. I want to watch the match.
I'll send you the link. I'm sending you links for everything.
I know, and I appreciate you. You're my dealer.
That's right. I'm your gateway drug to like to deathmatch wrestling in Big Japan and so forth, so on. Anyways, hey, you know what? Thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in every month. Post Perez, when we launched this at the beginning of Post Wrestling, first with myself and John, then me and Karen, and then a lot of guests come on the show as well. We thank you so much, and we'll have some here and there, occasional special guests here on Post Perez. But yes, please subscribe to the Patreon, to the Post Wrestling Cafe, and we'll see you over there. And until next time, if you are going to follow us, if you are a freeloader but you don't and you want to see more of this, please become a paid member of our site. It's a great place to be. And until next time, for Karen, I will say goodbye and thank you.